Hey guys, what's up? This is AJ of Persian Code, and for this episode, I'm going to show you something quite interesting, which is how you can build your own bot in Slack that gives you cryptocurrency prices when you ask for it. So, for example, if I type in how much is Bitcoin now, it's going to say Bitcoin is currently worth $33,472.30. Or if I just ask, how's Ethereum doing? It'll give me some other details like its market cap and changes in value in the past 24 hours. Now, I'm going to do this with Node.js using Slack's own libraries or dependencies for building chatbots, and we'll be integrating with the API offered by coinranking.com to get the data of different cryptocurrencies. Now, I chose to use coinranking.com's API mainly because they offer it for free, given some request limitations per month, unless you'd like to subscribe to some of their plans for more extensive usage and support. And they have a really nice and decent API documentation right here, which you could easily refer to. You can get the data for a certain coin, get coin history, get coin markets, and so on. You can get your API key for free by accessing the link in the description below. Or you can also go to rapidapi.com, which is an online API store. This is what I'm using, and I'll also be posting the link in the description below, so that I could also easily try out the different API endpoints. Although I believe an older version is what's in Rapid API, you can just refer to CoinRanking's official API page for the newer version. Either way, you will still get an API key for free. So the very first thing we want to do is to create a new app by heading over to api.slack.com/apps and make sure you're creating a new classic app. You might encounter a bit of an issue if you just went ahead and create a new app without it being classic. I couldn't get my code to work with it before. I'm not sure why, but who knows? Maybe I just missed something or whatever. It's up to you. I want to call this Slack bot Kryptonite just for fun, and select the workspace I want to put this into, which is Bridging Code. Now, in basic information, under the add features and functionality, click bots. Then click the button called Add Legacy Bot User. You want to give your bot a name. I'm going to call mine Kryptonite, and Kryptonite in the username as well. Now that we've created our bot, let's go back to basic information. And let's see, click Install to Workspace here. You want to allow your bot with the following capabilities. Now that your app is installed, you should see the app credentials here. The app ID, client secret, signing secret, and verification token, which obviously should be private to you and not be shared with anyone else. But I'm not too worried about that since I'll be deleting this Slack app once I posted this tutorial, and we're probably not going to make use of any of these in the tutorial anyway. And here is the display information. You can change your app name here. Give it a short description like a Slack bot that gives cryptocurrency prices. Gives cryptocurrency prices. Oops. Prices. There you go. You can upload an app icon here, which should also be the profile pic of your bot. I'm going to upload one now. There it is. There we go. Okay, oops, I need to change the background color. Okay. Let's save this. Now, let's go to OAuth and permissions. And in here, we will need this very important token called bot user OAuth access token to be able to interact with the Slack API. Again, this should not be shared with anyone else, but for me, I'm going to delete all of these anyway, so it's fine. You want to paste this later in your code, maybe as a constant or in an environment file, which I will be doing later. Now that we've created our Slack app and bot, we'll now need to initialize our Node.js project. Again, I will write the Slack bot in Node.js, but I understand not everyone likes writing vanilla JavaScript on Node.js. You probably prefer languages with static typing and works better with your code editor's IntelliSense, like maybe Java or ideally just TypeScript, which is just a superset of JavaScript. If that's the case, go ahead and feel free to do so. You could still follow along with this tutorial, but write your code in TypeScript, and you can just transpile it into JavaScript later if you want to run the app in Node.js. So we're in this directory I created where I want to initialize Node.js. And let's run npm init. Let's fill this out. For our dependencies, we will need two APIs provided by Slack, which are the RTM API, which is Slack's WebSocket-based API for receiving messages in real time, and the Slack's Web API for getting different kinds of info from Slack, like a list of channels a user's in, and for posting messages. Another important dependency that we'll need is Axios, which is a promise-based HTTP client for interacting with CoinRanking.com's API to get the data about different cryptocurrencies. Although it's not required, but I'll also include NodeMon just so Node automatically detects my code changes and I don't have to re-execute it. And finally, we have the .env dependency to get the properties from a .env file where I intend to save the bot token and the API key for CoinRanking.com's API. You could probably just have these as a constant in JavaScript, but I personally prefer using .env files, which I find a better practice, especially if you're going to be deploying it in different environments requiring different values. Now we're installing all these dependencies. Okay. So now we're in our Slackbots project. I've also went ahead and prepared some of the Node.js code not directly related to either getting our Slackbot to work or interacting with the cryptocurrency API to save us some time, which I will be showing to you now. If you're trying to follow along, make sure you already have the following JavaScript code that I'm about to show you. You can either pause this video to copy it, or you don't really have to, because these will all be available on GitHub, which you can just clone or refer to, or just straight up copy and paste your code editor, and the link to that is pasted in the description below. We have the keywords bank.js, which is a very important piece of our code, which contains keywords where our Slack bot will respond to. There's not going to be any fancy AI or machine learning stuff in here, so don't expect for this bot to be impressively smart or anything. But at the same time, I want it to be a bit flexible and dynamic with its responses. Like, for example, if you type hi or hello, the bot will respond to any of those messages and greet you back. These are the keywords that our bot should look out for when we ask about the current price of a cryptocurrency. For example, if you ask how much is Bitcoin today, or how much is Bitcoin, or what is the price of Bitcoin. It will give you the current price of the cryptocurrency. I've also included the words any in the constant to denote the message should contain any of the keywords in the array, and the word all to indicate that the message should contain all the keywords in this array for the bot to respond to with a certain answer, such as the price of the cryptocurrency. And the same goes for the other constants containing an array of keywords. Here are the keywords for getting more current data for a cryptocurrency, like its 24-hour change and market cap. And here are the keywords for giving you the same response for multiple currencies. So if the message is like, give me an update for all cryptos, or how are all the cryptos doing, it will give you a list of cryptocurrencies with its prices and 24-hour change. Now, you might ask, how are we going to go about processing these keywords? I've already prepared a code for that, which I'll show you later. I've also stored all the commonly used responses of our Slack bot in a constant, just so I don't have to keep writing it. Like greet is a message that our bot will reply to us if we greet it with hi or hey or hello. And we also have the response for when our cryptocurrency API fails to respond to our request. And this is the response for when the bot doesn't know what cryptocurrency we are asking for. Now, here in our utils directory, this is the code that I was speaking about to process those keywords I've shown you earlier. The isInMessage function basically just asks for the message that the bot received and the set of keywords where we'd like to validate the message against. This will just split the message into an array by spaces or any special characters and filter the keywords that are in the message array. If there's at least a single keyword in the splitted message, it will return true. Personally, I like to convert the message into lower cases just so comparison is easier, and since I also made all the keywords in lower cases. The is all in message almost does the same thing, except that it returns true if all the keywords are in the message. Feel free to just pause this video if you're trying to follow along and copy these codes, but as I said earlier, these are all on GitHub, which I have pasted the link in the description below. It's not a big deal, but I've also prepared some formatters that we'll probably need for our numerical values. The money formatter is for when we want to format our numerical value to be a floating value fixed at 2 decimal places and a dollar symbol at the beginning. And decimal formatter is to shorten large amounts. Like I said earlier, I'll be placing our private keys in a .env file, which are the bot token we got earlier when we created our Slack app, and the API key, which I obtained from coinranking.com for free. I'm not going to be too concerned about exposing these tokens with you guys, since I will be discarding them all later. But keep in mind that these keys should not be shared with anyone else but you. Finally, we have our package.json here. As you can see, here are all the 5 dependencies we got for this project. And for our scripts, I'll be using NodeMon to run the Slack bot so that it could detect any code changes we applied and automatically rerun Node. Let's open up index.js, and let's first require .env so that we're able to access the properties from the .env file we prepared earlier. So what I'd like to do first is to require all these codes I prepared. Constants, keywords bank, constants, responses, greet, unavailable, start with our bot, let's require the APIs from Slack that we'll need, which are the RTM and web APIs. Web API, web client, Kryptonite bot, new RTM client. Let's give it the bot token. Web client, web client. Let's start our bot by typing kryptonite.start.catch and start. Let's catch the errors if there are any. And what we want to do first is to tell or announce to all channels, or at least just private conversations where our bot is in, that it is now online and ready to take inquiries. To do that, let's use Slack's RTM API by typing kryptonite.on ready, and then an async callback function. And let's just log in to the console that our bot has started. And besides logging to the console, we also have to send a message on Slack to the user that it is online. To do that, let's write an asynchronous function. Let's give it the channel, text, and attachments. And we'll use Slack Web API's post message function, taking in the channel you want to send the message or text you want to send, and an array of attachments if there are any. To make use of this send message function, I want to call it from another function called announce. And it's going to take in 3 arguments, which are the message, types, and the attachments. Now, for us to send a message, of course, we need a channel. And for us to get a channel, we need to list down all the conversations or channels where our bot is in, and we're going to pass what type of conversation it is we're looking for. Now, according to Slack's documentation, the following types you could pass in are public channel, private channel, MPIM for group or multi-party direct messages, and IM for direct messages. You can pass in a single type or pass multiple types separated by comma. We're going to loop in through the list of channels we got and broadcast a message through those channels by calling the send message function. Attachments. Finally, let's call the announce function and send in Kryptonite is online. Actually, let's also send in the current version of our bot, which is from the package.json. Powered by coinranking.com. It's always a good practice to give credit to the owner of the API you're using, especially if it's free. For the type, I'm just going to put IM because I want our Slack bot to send a message only to me, since obviously I'm the only one who has installed the Slack bot app. Now let's run this code. Start. And as you can see, the bot was able to send me a message saying that it is now online. The next thing I want to do with our bot is for it to greet us back when we say something like hi or hello or hey. To do that, we need another function to listen to any Slack events. For our case, we want to be particular with message events and any subtype that is not a bot message. Keep in mind that these are all on Slack's API documentation, which I've pasted the link in the description below. Then we want to check if event.text, which is the message that our bot received, contains words like hi or hello, which is then stored in our keywords bank under the constant hello. Any of these keywords should be in the message for our bot to reply with a predetermined response, and we are checking this through the isInMessage function, which I've talked to you guys about earlier. Now, what I'm going to do next is to write the function to make our Slack bot greet us back, and this just calls the sendMessage function again. And we're just going to reply back with the bot's greeting response, which is stored in the greet constant. Going back to our condition, let's call the hello function and provide the channel ID, which is in the event object. And let's run our code again. Bot's ready. Our Slack bot is now online, and if we say hi to it, as you can see, it greeted us back with, "Hi there, what can I do for you?" If we say hi there, it still greets us back, or if we say hello, it still greets us back. And our Slack bot is able to pick all these up because these are all in our keywords bank right here. Now, before we go any further with getting our bot to work, I want to write first a client code that will interact with CoinRanking's API, just so we don't have to worry about it later. I'm also just going to require .env here to get some properties from our .env file. We're going to use Axios here to call the API's endpoints, which should return a promise for every response, and these will all be asynchronous. That's why we need to wait for them to respond when we call them from index.js. Now, I'm going to write a function that asks CoinRanking's API for a list of all the cryptocurrencies together with the latest data about them. Let's pass the URL. Let's pass in the API key and the API host, which are both stored in our .env file. If you refer to CoinRanking's API documentation, they will respond with an object containing the field data. And inside the data object is another object called coins, containing the list of cryptocurrencies with all the latest data about it. I think I'm going to use this function later for when we want our Slack bot to just give us kind of like an overview ranking of how all the coins are doing. And also we're gonna need a complete list of the cryptos names and IDs for when we need to select an individual currency. Now, let's write the client function to give us the data for a specific currency. We're basically just going to copy and paste this function, except we're going to rename it to getCoin, add in a param for the coin ID. We want to change this URL to pass in the coin's ID, and change this to just coin, since we're only asking for a single crypto. Going back to our index.js, let's have these functions required. Now, given that we need this list of cryptocurrency IDs and names for individual selection, it's best that we have these prepared on startup or as the bot goes online. To do this, let's have an array where we want to store the crypto's IDs. And let's write a function to initialize the coins. Initialize coins. Let's log initialize coins. And this will call the getCoins function from our client code. Now, the response we'll get from CoinRankings API is a list of objects representing the cryptocurrencies, and within those objects, there will be a whole bunch of fields that we're not really going to need yet at the moment. All we want for now is a list of objects containing a cryptocurrency's name and ID. So let's write a function to do just that. Coins mapping. Coins. And this should return a list of objects containing only the ID and is also sorted by the cryptocurrency's name. Later, we're going to traverse through this list as we check if a certain coin is included in the message. Function. Also, as we traverse through this list, I wanted to go over the more specific coins first for cases like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, or Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. That way, when we ask for something like, how much is Bitcoin Cash, it'll give us the price for that specific crypto and not Bitcoin. So the way we do that is just by sorting them in descending order or in reverse, and this will give precedence to the more specific coins. Then let's just call this function from initialize coins and set the response through the coin list array. I'm also just going to log the list of cryptocurrencies just to be sure that we're getting it. Now let's call initialize coins from our callback function that does some stuff when the bot is online. Let's save our code. Oops, I think we got an error. Okay. And as you can see, we have here a list of cryptocurrency objects containing just the name and ID. Now that we've got our list of coins initialized, we're definitely going to make use of that later. But first, let's have our Slack bot give us the latest updates for all the cryptocurrencies when we ask for it. To start off, let's write a function getCoinsUpdate that does just that. Let's set a default response. coins. And for each coin object we want to display it in Slack's attachment layout. But let's just leave this blank for now. Let's set an additional message on top of the updates and return the response. Now let's write the function to build an attachment. And we'll be needing the name, the URL, the price, 24-hour change, and the market cap of the coin. It's up to you if you want to make use of more fields from the coins object. You can refer to the official documentation for that. But for me, these are just the fields that I want. For the color of the attachment, let's make it green if there's a positive change in the price, and red if the price dropped. Let's format the price using the money formatter function I prepared. Let's just copy and paste these. And the market cap using the decimal formatter function. Then, from the getCoinsUpdate function, let's call the buildAttachment function. And from our callback function to respond to message events, let's have a condition to check if the user is asking for updates about all cryptos. And call the getCoinsUpdate function. Let's get the channel ID from the events object and reply back with our response. Now, not only do we want to be updated for all cryptocurrencies, we also want to be informed of updates for only a specific cryptocurrency. So let's add in another condition here that will allow us to ask our bot questions like, how's Bitcoin doing? Or give me an update about Ethereum. For this requirement, we need to extract the cryptocurrency from the message that our bot received. To do this, let's write another function called getCoinFromMessage to go over the list of coins we obtained when Slackbot starts and find if there is any match in the message. We will also write another function that's pretty much the same as the getCoinsUpdate function to get all the data for all the coins, except that it asks for the coin ID to get a specific coin. attachments, push, attachments, coin data. Unavailable. Then let's call the functions that we just wrote from this condition. Get coin from message, text, response, await get coin update. Let's give the coin. So that channel. Search. Let's save our code, see if everything we did works. Okay. There's something wrong with the get coin from message function. Okay. It is now online. If we type please update about all cryptocurrencies. Okay. It appears we got a typo inside the get coins update function. Save it again. I do apologize for all the typos. My Mac's running surprisingly slow today. I'm experiencing some lags as I type. First, let's ask our bot to please update me about all cryptocurrencies. And as you can see, it was able to give us an update about all the cryptocurrencies, giving us their current price, market cap, and its change in value in the past 24 hours. We can also just simply tell our bot to brief me, and it will still give the same response. Let's ask it to give me an update for Bitcoin. Okay, we have another error. It's in the get coin update function, and this should just be coin.id. Let's save it again. Okay, let's ask it to give me an update for Bitcoin. And it gives us the latest data for Bitcoin. Or we can also just ask how's Bitcoin doing, and it still gives us the same response. And if we ask for some more questions, like what about Ethereum, gives us the latest updates for Ethereum and Litecoin. It also gives us the latest updates for Litecoin. What about Dogecoin? Okay. its price dropped. That's why it has a red attachment. And if we also ask for a non-existing cryptocurrency, it will give us a response saying that it can't find any info for that coin. Going back to our code, let's write our final function, which is just to ask for the current price of a cryptocurrency. It will just get the data for a certain coin. Await get coin. Let's give it the coin object. Name, and respond with a message containing the price. Return it's not found. And let's add another condition to check if the message contains keywords for asking just the current price of a coin. Okay. Change that to coin price. All keywords, coin price, and keywords. We then extract the coin from the message. Let's call our function to get the price of the cryptocurrency. Send message, get the response. Let's have a no for attachments. Let's save our code again. Okay. It is now online. And if we ask our bot something like, how much is Bitcoin? I think we have another error again. Okay, we should be passing the coin ID. I didn't type the .id here. And let's save it again. Okay. If we ask how much is Bitcoin, as you can see, it gives us the current price of the Bitcoin. And if we ask something like, what is the price of Dogecoin, it also gives us the current price of Dogecoin. What about something that's not existing? As you can see, it replied with, apologies, I believe I do not have the data for that cryptocurrency. What about how much is Ethereum? And it gave us the current price of Ethereum as well. So that's it for this tutorial. We now have a fully functioning Slack bot that gives us the latest data about cryptocurrencies. It's obviously far from being the best bot. You'd probably notice a few bugs as you get yours to work. I'll just leave it up to you guys to fix those issues. Also, again, we didn't incorporate any fancy AI or machine learning stuff in here. We basically just created a keywords bank containing possibly used keywords to ask a question, if you recall from the earlier part of this video. Then we wrote a couple of functions to check if those keywords exist in the message and decide what response our Slack bot will give to the user. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.